Today we have Gerald Panneton, the CEO of Gold Terra, who's going to take us through some of the most recent results. We're going to focus today, I believe, on the con mine and the program they're doing there. So Gerald, I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you, because my name at the bottom of the screen is you. So it's too bad that I don't have the, the real name, but I think my name is Gerald Panneton. A lot of people probably heard my name before. I've been around. I'm the chairman and CEO of Gold Terra. And if you want to Google me, you can probably find quite a lot of things about my career over the last 40 years as a geologist and a mine builder. I got involved into Yellowknife for one big reason: the high-grade nature of the deposit that were mined before, and of course, what's ahead of us, which is a great success story, starting with the con mine, which we're going to review all together today. So without any stopping, I'd like to show you where the project is located. It's road access from Edmonton in Alberta. You can drive to the mine site all by road, or you can fly from Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton. This is a very good project that has an excellent location. It's in Canada. You can see a close-up of the Northwest Territory, which is the territory in which we are involved. And you can see a little bit more of the project itself. And of course, when you look at our property, we control roughly 800 square kilometers of a land package that take care of the Campbell Shear. And the Campbell Shear is the gold plumbing system that generated these deposits called Giant and Con Mine in the 40s, 50s, 60s. They were in production until 2003 when gold price dropped. There's been no exploration systematically by experienced people over the last 20 years. And when you look at the land position and the control we have on the Campbell Shear, it's quite of a property. Our focus currently is the con mine. And, you can interrupt me, Steve, anytime if you have a question.
So Gerald, actually, one question I have for you. So I grew up in Inuvik. So we used to go through Yellowknife. Yellowknife is sort of the metropolis of Northwest Territories, where we were another 4 or 5 hours north of that. I didn't realize, is Yellowknife there because of the con mine?
Of course.
That's why
that is the reason there's a town. It's because of the discovery of gold in the 30s.
Yeah.
That's the main reason. And it was never, when the Con and Giant put together as the same deposit, which is not explained on this video, but could be added. I mean, the Giant mine is a slice of the Con mine deposit displaced by a fault, 8 kilometers, called the West Bay Fault. And that would be interesting, actually, to show that in a future video once we build more information into the model. But you have to realize that the Campbell Shear is 70 kilometers long, and it was mined only over 3-4 kilometers. That structure keeps going. This is open, north and south of the Con mine and north of the Giant mine. There could be multiple gold deposits found along that structure if we have a better money supply than the current market. But let's focus on the Con mine, because this is really an area. It took me 2 years to get an option from Newmont to go back into the Con mine. And it mined 6 million ounces at between 15 to 20 grams from the Con Shear and the Campbell Shear. The Campbell Shear is the extension of the Giant mine at depth. And as you can see, basically, roughly, is the underground working, the Robertson shaft, the old C1 shaft, where some mineralization was mined, and of course, the zone that dips to the west, steeply dipping, approximately 70 degrees, striking roughly north-south, and being drilled from the hanging wall. And these
is it safe to say this is one of those old deposits where you had sort of 2-3 years mine life in front of you and you just kept going and going and going?
You could say that, yes. In these years, they didn't have the power of drilling that we have today to drill deep hole. They were just going like 2-3 years ahead of time. They had reserve for 4 years, and they sank a shaft and start mining. One of the nice, interesting thing about the Con mine when it started, they put 14 holes in the deposit, and they decided to sink a shaft and start producing gold. The average grade of those 14 holes was 4 grams. Guess what they pull out of the first stope? 20 grams.
Yeah.
So technique back then were very limited in terms of drilling. But at the end of the day, it's just explain the type of mineralization you're dealing with.
And is that positive? Is that positive reconciliation? Just finds that get lost in a drill
it's more
core,
than
or
positive. I mean, you're talking 400% percentage on reconciliation. So it's more than just positive. It's like, wow, there's nuggety gold in that deposit, and we cannot hit those jewelry pocket all the time.
Yeah,
drilling a jewelry pocket is like trying to hit a needle in a haystack, like we used to say. So you need to have systematic drilling. And at the end of the day, your drill spacing is there to outline the zone, but in reality, the end member of this production is going to be the truth of the grade will be at the end when you're mining. That's it. That's all.
Yeah.
So,
and those jewelry boxes, in Val-d'Or, you're familiar with Val-d'Or as well, they'd talk about sort of the jewelry boxes where they'd hit, and they'd actually put they'd actually bolt in a gate, and so nobody could go in, and they'd put a lock on it at the end of shifts.
That's exactly what they use, for example, especially at Red Lake.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they actually don't let even the miner. They just let the guys, there's a jewelry box, and we'll send the geologist and the mining engineer. And they fill up their pack sack, and basically say, if you don't have a gravity system in your mill, you're going to be losing a lot of gold.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can see the envelope on this slide, basically, where you have a green envelope. And the green envelope basically is 5 to 20 grams GT, which basically means 2 grams over 10 meters. And you can see the envelope is quite extensive, but it's a good reference to show it very well. And you can see
going down
to
2,000
with the yellow
meters here.
The shaft goes down to 1,900 meters.
Okay.
The Robertson shaft was sank in the 70s, and you can see with the red, this is 50 to 100. And when you're going to see the purple, and you're going to see the stoping, most of the red and purple was mined over the years at an average grade of 16 grams, with recovery between 90% to 95%. And the most interesting thing of this deposit is that, like the giant mine, the top of the mine is refractory, but below 1,000, it's 95% recovery, free milling with jewelry pockets. And our target, our deep target that we talked about, is exactly that. A beautiful bunch of jewelry pocket that we're targeting at depth. And that's what we're going to be talking very soon. So moving into the next, you can see the deposit again, steeping. And, I would not drill a hole at 2,000 meters or 2,200 meters vertical if I did not have already a shaft. The shaft can be reestablished. There's no question about that. It's 10 by 20, 2,000 ton per day capacity. Of course, we don't have a head frame anymore. But at the same time, what I can say about this shaft and the historical production is that it's open at depth. This is an Archean deposit. How far down La Ronde is going now? 3,400 meters. How far down Macassa was? So this deposit and the size of the Campbell Shear makes it very, very interesting to be tested. And you can see this satellite deposit. And
is it? Sorry to interrupt. I'm just thinking of some of the other, a little bit more familiar with some of those deep ones in the Abitibi camp, like an Island Gold or a Sigma or a Lamac, or what are the analogs?
I know I am very knowledgeable about every camp. They're all different.
Yeah.
But are they? What is the similarity about, say, for example, mining and throughput? Because Sigma, you go to Sigma and you have like 5 different style of mining method, right? And you learn a lot from Sigma mine. It's unbelievable because I worked for Placer Dome from 89 to 93, and I was involved and I visited Sigma many times. Lamac was shut down. This deposit is it's a shear hosted Archean deposit. It's open at depth. It's open at strike. There could be more of that along strike. But what is the characteristic? How can we compare to the best one? And the answer is Island Lake of Alamos. Okay. Because it's a very steeply dipping, very rich, 10 to 15 grams. They're already sinking a shaft down to 1,600 meters. They've got 2-3 million ounces deposit. And when you look at Giant plus Con, you're looking at 13 million ounces from surface to 2,000 meters. So what if we find 3 million ounces below the mine? And that thing, this is exactly what we do. We've also explored a lot on the southern part because we wanted to have enough ore near surface to be able to start the mine. So already in our plan, knowing that we're going to find something at depth, I wanted to have something at surface that will ease the pain of starting a mine with something near surface. And already we've outlined 540,000 ounces near surface at 8 grams, mainly between Yellowknife Main and Yellowknife North. So we know that the beginning of the mine is already being looked after for the first 5, 7, 8 years. Now, at the end of the day, this is great, but can we do even better when you look at what we have at depth? So we've been looking at, you know, this faulting, of course, displacement. The West Bay Fault is the one that displaced the mine to the giant. It's an 8 kilometers displacement, so it's quite interesting to find out. And we understand very well those faults. But now with the compilation we've done from the mine and the historical, I can show you exactly what we're after, which is very rich. And you can see the core. The core is almost like 1 kilometer long. Our first hole will be targeting the bottom part, where, for example, you want to talk about jewelry pocket. Here it is. How about 534 grams over 20 meters? That's almost 11,000 GT.
Yeah.
What about 80 grams over 10 meters, or 22 over 12, or 20 over 7? Look, this is a wonderful target that will change the trend of our company in a very good way. And you can see this exactly where we are and where our deep hole is going to be set, right at the bottom. I think I was in Yellowknife this week. We are about 500 meters down the hole. We have about 1,800 meters to go, 1,800 meters. And so we're 2,000 meters away from our target, what I'm trying to say. The shear zone could be 30, 50, 70 meters. The hole is not cheap. It's about $1 million. But it's an educated guess with a success probability that is very high, because in Archean geology, everybody knows it's open at depth.
And can you, once you get down there, can you wedge off and kind of pierce the shear zone from a few different, so a wedge hole being at 19, okay. So you're not so, and I guess for anyone watching this, a wedge hole, what it allows for is you don't have to re-drill the pilot hole. You can kind of back up a little bit and then pierce the same chute or shear zone multiple times.
Our plan from this master hole is to drill approximately 6 different holes.
Okay.
Using wedges and Navi drill. You use the wedges just to kick and open up the room for the Navi drill to get in, and then we just Navi drill. You can Navi drill more than 100 meters away from the hole.
Okay.
We cannot do like oil and gas, where the hole is bigger, the Navi drill is bigger, and they go horizontal. But we can at least build up and go far enough. And this master hole will cover almost 300 meters of strike length.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then you wedge up.
Yeah. Gerald, do you mind going back? I think it was 3 or 4 slides back. It showed the drilling at the bottom. It was maybe back 2 more, I think. Just the one, back 1 more. So this one. So it seems like the drilling just in that lower area, like it's just cut off at the bottom.
That circle could be moved a little bit further down.
Okay. But it doesn't seem like there are any holes down there whatsoever.
No, there's no hole. There's no hole below a certain level. And we know the deposit has a great chance of continuing. And you can see the core. Actually, what is appearing on as gray on the slide is basically show you all the open stope of the area that were mined. And so the stope are very well. And don't forget, the mine still has 650,000 ounces at 11 grams in some stope that are definitely reachable. Yeah. And so we are very upbeat, because if we find 2 million ounces below the mine, and we have 3/4 million ounces near surface, and we have 600,000 ounces left on the mine, we have in one place on the Con Mine, a 3 million ounces deposit. This drill program, which we've been dreaming of doing for the last year, since we optioned the property in November 2021, is the key to a very successful Campbell Shear multi-million ounces deposit.
So as you get deeper, what's your production rate? 20, 50 meters a day?
I would just say that, first of all, production rate is about the mining method, right?
If you have your drill production. No, you're right.
Oh no, okay. I thought we wanted to start mining today.
No, I'm sure I use all the wrong terminology. Just what's your drill?
Okay. It's about 60 meters, 30 meters per 12 hours on average.
I guess it'll slow down as you go deeper, but just from where we are today, from when we start getting results from it, we're talking about, what is that?
We're talking about 30 to 40 days from now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's exciting.
Very much. Very much. No question.
Yeah, that's because you can and I'm sure you've been doing this. You can talk about the potential of something for years and years, and there's nothing beats actually getting your first couple holes into it, right?
When we set the drill there, we know the drill's going to stay there for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Doing the master hole and then all the cut. We want to do up to 6 cut if we can, maybe more. I don't know. It depends. It depends on the success too as well. It depends how much ground we'll be able to cover from a strike length perspective. And when this hole is finished, we plan to move your circle that you have on the slide approximately 300 meters to the south.
Yeah.
And then do the same thing.
Interesting. Great.
This is like, I hate to say that, but it's like 100% chance of success. You will hit the Campbell Shear. No, but it's hard for us.
Totally.
We're just being transparent. We will hit the Campbell Shear. There's no question. Yeah. What we don't know is how much gold we're going to hit.
Yeah. No, that's it's exciting. It'll be fun to watch this thing unfold in the next sort of 30, 40 days, and then I'm sure a month or so to get some results on the back of that. But I'm assuming this stuff's quite visual too. When you're in it.
Well, jewelry pocket, and we can, we just have to count the gold grains. But we know very well that the bottom part of the mine is very much free milling. There's a lot more visible gold, more quartz veining, much less refractory than it is at the top of the mine, like the giant and the top of the con. So we're very excited to do those all. And, for me, it's achieving a threshold that will sustain the development of a future mine. We find 2 million ounces at the bottom of the mine with what we have on surface plus what's left. We have a 3 million ounces story. Plus then you add the 1.2 million ounces satellite deposit to the north, and you have 4 million ounces in one company that control 100% of the Campbell Shear.
Yeah, and there's always something to be said too about being in an area that's been mined before. It's
easier to find gold where there's gold.
Yeah, the shadow of a head frame.
Correct. That was Bob Smith. The late Bob Smith was always telling me back in the barrack days, before he passed away in 98, I still remember that all my conversation with him. Gerald, why are you going so far? We have a mill there. Why don't you find me some more gold next to the mill?
Yeah.
It's a better place.
That's my very limited experience in the sector was that in Val-d'Or, and it was 2 kilometers from 9 million ounces of past production.
Look at what I did at Detour.
Exactly.
Don't forget, I'm the guy who bought Detour for 1.5 million ounces and found 30.
Yeah, it's the gift that keeps on giving. It still is today.
Yeah, this was a great story.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for taking the time today. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we sign off?
I think I'd like to come back and do another interview, and I think we should probably add some information and show a little bit better the target at depth. But that will be a bit of work to be done, and we look forward to do it. Very good work. Very pleasant to be able to share that with people. Excellent 3D. Congratulations.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Rob. Thanks for the chat today.